All right, guys, let's start with this session. So, guys, welcome to this live session by Intellipaat. Today's this session's topic is real-time log analysis using Splunk. I'm sorry for if there was any delay. There was some technical issue on YouTube's end and GoToWebinar's end. So now we can start. This is already started. I hope you guys can hear me. So let's look at the agenda for this session. So I'll give a Splunk brief overview. Any person who's missed out on the previous sessions, like I did two sessions already in the morning and in the evening, you guys should check them out. And if you have missed them out, I'll just talk about Splunk a little bit so you get an idea. Then we'll go directly to real-time log analysis. And then basically we'll see the further learning paths and we'll have a small QA, right? So let's get started. So Splunk, what is Splunk? So we know Splunk is a visualization and analysis tool. It's like any of your other tools like Grafana or Nagios or your ELK stack. It's like that basically. What it does is basically takes data and gives you an insight out of that data, whether it be system performance, whether it be some data analysis, etc., etc. So how does Splunk work? We saw that Splunk works because of its integration. Like it has multiple components integrated. It's not a single tool, rather it's a set of different tools. It has multiple components, and those multiple components work together to give you the end result, that is your analysis and visualization. And we saw that how data flows through Splunk through the data pipeline in the previous session also. All right, so this is the architecture, guys. Again, we have the management tier, collection tier, indexing tier, and the searching tier, right? And we have the administrator and users. This is the Splunk basic architecture. And this is the data flow. This is how data flows in Splunk. As you can see, the data is collected from the servers, forwarders collected, they ship it to heavy forwarders where the aggregation and processing happens, basically parsing. Then an alert will be sent either through Slack or an email notifier. All right, so guys, this was basic brief on Splunk. So now we'll go through the demo. So basically, guys, I'll be going through the whole steps of Splunk installation. I'll show you guys how to do it. And once again, and we'll see how to real-time log analysis. All right, sorry, yeah. So I hope the screen is visible now. All right, so let's get started. So Splunk installation. So guys, there are two ways you can go ahead with Splunk installation. You can do it in Windows, that is your host PC. If you just work with Windows, then you can do it. And you can do it with Linux also. So with Windows, it's a very simple execute.msi installer. But with Linux, I think you have to use this link or you have to go to the website. I'll show you guys how to do that. So the one we're going to be doing today is we're going to do Linux installation. Since Windows is very easy, I'll guide you guys how to install it on Linux. So it's a little bit more complicated, not so complicated though. But don't worry, people use Splunk on Windows a lot too, not just Linux. People use them on both. They use equal amounts, right? So let's start. So I'm gonna go to the Splunk website. I'm basically gonna type Splunk downloads. It's gonna give me the website. You can see download Splunk Enterprise for free. Just click on that and it will ask you for a username and password. If you already have a Splunk account, you can just directly go in. Or as you can see, I've already logged in. So it's not giving me a soft page where it asks me for all the details to register for Splunk, right? So when you do register and you do log in, you will see these options. You can see for Windows, there's an option over here. For Linux also, there's an option. And if you're a person who works with Mac OS, you have an option for that too. So the one we're going to be working with is Linux. So you need this particular one, this file. This is the one we'll be working. You can, use .tgz or .deb, but I'll be working with .rpm, right? So click on download now, and we'll wait for it to load. Close this. All right, so we'll let it load. So guys, so basically what I did over here is I've created an instance over here. Basically it's a RHEL instance. You can create that by clicking on launch instance. And this is the instance that I've used, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. I've used this one. I'm gonna go back here. It's t2.nano. Yeah, it's t2.nano. T2.micro, sorry, yeah. So once you have it launched, you can just open it up either by SSHing into it, or you can use any SSH client. I already have SSH client over here that is already configured. So I'm gonna load the setting configurations. I'm gonna copy my IP address. Okay, now we can see that this also has been downloaded. Wait. So let's just load this first, then I'll show you guys what to do with the download. So I'm gonna put my IP address here and open it up. Yes, EC2 user, that's the login name you're supposed to use. Open it up. Alright, so let me get root access. Okay, I have root access now. Now the next thing I need to do is basically, you saw that there was a download window that popped up. So we don't want to download it on our Windows PC. We want to do it through Amazon, right? So I'm going to get the command line version of it over here. So it's basically the link address of the download, and we're going to use the wget command to download it. So first we'll have to install wget over here. So I'll install wget. Alright, wget is installed, and now we'll paste the command line. So wget and the basically the the link address, and then press enter, and you can see that it's downloading it. Alright, so the download is done. So now we can move on. So we have finished the download. If I do an ls, I can see the file over here, but what I want this file to be in my opt folder. Or to move it to the opt folder, I'll use the mv command, mv splunk, and I'm going to give it the direction. Yeah. So now if I head to my opt folder and I do an ls, I can see my Splunk file over here. Now to just open this file up, I'm going to use the rpm command, and this will install my Splunk file as it is .rpm. So the command is basically rpm, then -ivh and the splunk.rpm. As you can see, it's doing the whole installation process right now. It's installing Splunk for us. So guys, this is Splunk Enterprise. Splunk Enterprise is your basically your key Splunk. And as you saw, there was no paywall over here. I just downloaded it without paying anything. I just had to register. That was all I had to do. So that's the thing with Splunk. If you want to learn with it, then it's very easy. It's as easy as this, is getting the link and downloading it. So as you can see, the download is complete. So now if I do an ls, I can see that there is a Splunk folder over here. I will head into the folder, and I will head into the bin folder. Okay, so there are some proprietary Splunk commands. Well, basically, how you have your yum or wget, right? So Splunk has its own commands. Like I have Splunk basically /Splunk. If I want to start Splunk right now, I have to type in /Splunk and then type start. Okay, so you can do this and start Splunk, but the thing is you have to read through the whole license agreement and you have to keep on pressing enter. It takes a very long time. So what you can do is just add accept --accept license. It will help you basically go through all of it. Okay, so it's read through the license agreement. I've accepted the license agreement. Now I just have to give it the username I want. I want admin as the username, and I want my password as it is. I'm not going to tell you guys. I'm going to confirm. Alright, so we have launched our Splunk instance. So as you can see, the Splunk web interface is now at this particular address. So this is basically giving the IP address or the domain name of this instance. There is the same thing as the IP address. You can see this is the IP address. So if I click on it, and I have to go to port 8000. So for that, I'll just paste the IP address and then head to 8000. Okay, so now it's brought me to the screen where I can enter into Splunk. So I just have to enter the same username and password I had done before, admin, then again the password, and I press enter, and it will take me to my Splunk Enterprise. So here there are some starting pages you guys can go through. Let me close them. All right, so I have a message. All right. Alright guys, so basically this is your Splunk Enterprise. This is the dashboard. You get into it, you have a lot of things. I've already gone through, familiarized you guys through Splunk in the previous lecture if you guys attended it, but this is a basic one. So the main things I'll tell you guys about. So the main thing here is search and reporting, then settings and monitoring console. Now you may see that it's a little bit different than the Windows Splunk Enterprise. We didn't have Explore data before. Yeah, the versions differ here and there, but it's not much of a difference. And you can see all the errors over here, the health basically. It will show you the health of Splunk over here. If I click on it, it will show me the various things about Splunk over here. It's right now yellow because the instance that I've launched is a t2.micro, and that only has 1 GB RAM. So I would recommend you guys use t2.medium, or you just use your PC version. The whole process is almost very same. Okay, so now we have Splunk. So what did we want to do? We wanted to collect real-time applications, real-time logs for an application, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install Apache on this RHEL instance, and after, let me just come out. Yeah, so I'm going to install Apache over here, and then I'm going to read the logs of Apache over here, right? So let me install Apache first over here. So it will be yum install httpd. All right, so I'll give it a yes. Okay, so we have installed Apache over here. All right, so now we have installed Apache. Let me see if there's any other step. All right, so let me see if it's up and running or not. Okay, it is loaded into the system, so that's what we wanted. So let me just start it up. All right, and it's active and running. So great, we have Apache now running, basically http.service. So we have a Apache server running. Now we just need to monitor its logs. So we need to, how do we monitor the file over here? How do we monitor the location? So the logs for Apache are stored in the location. Basically, if we go there, we go to cd/var/log/httpd, and then let's go there. If I do an ls, I can see there is an access log over here and there is an error log over here. So we'll basically work with the access log over here. Okay, so basically we'll be working with the access log. So this is basically our, yeah, so this is going to be our address. We just have to add access log. So this is what we're going to do. So to add our monitor over here, we can do it in two ways. To add our input over here, we can do it in two ways. What you can do is, let's try the simple method over here. We'll go to settings, then we'll go to data inputs over here. So sometimes it's easier to just do it with web console. You can do it with the command line interface also. It's not that hard. So over here, I can see that there's an option for local input. So that's what we're going to do. If suppose I had this particular Apache server running on another instance, then I would need to use a forwarder. So I will have to install the universal forwarder separately on that system. And I will have to configure that universal forwarder to basically transmit the log files from there onto this system, right? So here is the local input. So this is where I'm supposed to configure, because basically I'll be taking the files from this system and then monitor it on this system only, because Splunk is on this system. So I will click on files and directories. And once I click on it, you can see all the various files that it's monitoring already. And it's mostly all the Splunk internal files. As you can see, it's here. So Splunk home/etc/splunk.version. So we'll click on new local file and directory, and we'll add our own over here. Okay, so we have to add our file directory here. I'm gonna click on browse, and we are going to, it is etc, yeah, so it's here slash, we have var, you have to head to httpd. Okay, it's not giving us the option here. Okay, so we have to go to var log and then httpd, and this is the access log. So I'm going to click on access log and then select it. So it's given the, you can directly paste the address also if you want over here, right? So we want to click on continuously monitor because we want to do real-time monitoring. So I'm going to leave it to continuously monitor, then click on next. Then you can set the source type as you want, but I'm going to leave it default over here. We don't need to go to advanced details right now. Then I'm going to save the source type. Okay, once again, actually let me save the source type as Apache. Alright, so we set this source type. Now we saved it as our own access logs, and in input settings basically you can choose the app context. So basically where will you be using this log. So I want to choose search and reporting because we'll be searching that, so the data on that app. So that, and our host field value will be the domain name, and the index we'll leave it to default. We can change it to main, or we can create our own index also. So I can just create a new index over here. I'm going to call this demo index, and I'm going to leave everything else default because it's going to fill in the details by itself. Then I'm going to save it. So we have our demo index over here, and then we can click on review. So these are our details. Once you review them, you can click on submit. All right, so we have started to, we basically created an input, and now the Splunk will try to input it. But before that, what we have to do is we have to configure forwarding and receiving. Now, for configuring forwarding and receiving is important because Splunk knows that there is an input here, but it doesn't know how to forward it, at least where to forward it from and where to receive it from. So let me configure forwarding first. I'm going to click on add new, and over here I'm going to type in, wait, let me just copy this. You can just type localhost also, and 9997. That's the port. That's the port at which through is gonna be forwarding the data. All right. So now we're gonna go back to forwarding and receiving, and we're gonna configure receiving. We're gonna add a new receiving port. We're gonna receive it on 9972. Right. So I'm gonna click on save. All right. So we have we have configured both forwarding and receiving. Now we can go ahead and see if the data is being indexed or not. As you can see, it's giving me help. Just hold on a second, guys. So let's save this. Now let's try it out. Okay, so it's functioning better now. It's working. Alright, so we have configured the forwarding and receiving. Now we can go to search and reporting app. Actually, let me see the activity of the index that we have created. Let's skip this tour. So I go to indexes over here under data settings, indexes. And here you can see all the different indexes over here. These are all internal default indexes that we didn't create. They were created when Splunk was created. And we have a demo index. It is not indexing anything right now. One second, guys. Should take a few minutes to start indexing the data. So I'm gonna type in here index. Actually, let's wait for like a few seconds so the receiving and forwarding starts happening. So let me type in index. So this is our first search string. I'm going to enter demo index over here. Let me search that. Alright, so let's expand it to all time. So it's still not picking it up. Okay, just one second, guys. Let me just figure this out. This is 999 itself. Should be receiving at 999.7. Why is it giving us that error? Alright, let's try it again. Let me just try that again. Go to data inputs. We'll add another one. And this time we'll try to index this to our main default index itself. Okay, fine. So it was probably because of my source type. So it wasn't able to identify the source type access logs. Should have said that better. So it's able to identify the error logs. So we can just click on next. Search and reporting. We're going to leave these as default. I'm going to index it into the default index. Then click on review and submit. Alright, so now let's start. Let's see if it happens. Right. Oh guys, this might be an error due to the space size. Let me just configure that. Okay, so actually let's try this with my local host. I already have it in my PC also. Let's try it from the PC, because I think there's an issue with the space over here. That's why it's not working. Alright, so I have it here. Hopefully it's working in this. So I'm just going to go ahead and enable our data input over here. I think that could be there, but I don't think so, because yeah, like Ravi said over here, I think we might need to open the port 999. But the thing is, I've already enabled all the ports over here, as you can see in description. One second, guys. Alright, let's do it in PC itself. Yeah, if we start troubleshooting over here, it'll take a very long time. Now I want to show you guys how you can, basically collect data. So let's do it with our Windows itself. Let's try it with Windows. So in Windows, it's a bit more simpler. You can just click on the available logs there are. So I'm gonna do it with system logs to show you guys how simple it is. So I'm gonna click on application and put security also, and we'll move it to default. This thing. Actually, let's just do application. So I'm gonna move it to default index over here. Click on save. Alright, so now we have enabled it. So event log collection, localhost. Now we just have to see if it's working. Now I've already configured forwarding and receiving over here, so it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, it's not done over here also. It should work. Okay, let's try it again. Let's try another port. Let's see if 8089 is working. Okay, so it should actually work with 999 itself. So let's see. Oh, here I'm opening indexes. Let me see if it's indexing data or not. Alright, so it seems to be indexing data. So if you go to Splunk Enterprise, this is definitely 9997. Guys, if you're getting confused, sorry, it didn't happen before. Should be working right now. Okay, so yes, it has started working. All right, sorry for the delay, guys. Yeah, I don't know why it gave me so many times the error. So guys, basically what I did was, if you guys got confused, let me just give you guys an idea again. So basically what I did was I went to data inputs and I enabled a local monitoring. So what I mean by that is basically what I will do is by clicking on local event log collection, when I add a local event log collection, this system will itself pick up logs from its own logs. Like if my PC has some logs, this Splunk Enterprise is going to pick up those logs, right? So that's what I did. I enabled the in monitoring over here. Now the next thing that I enabled was I enabled forwarding and receiving. Now forwarding and receiving, you need to enable forwarding with localhost colon 9997, and with receiving you need to do just 9997. That's the port. So it will forward it to itself, right? So that's what's gonna happen. And once it starts forwarding the data, it will start forwarding the logs from my system onto Splunk so that I can search Splunk. Then I created an index. So in this case, it was already there. So there was a default index called main. I just used that index and I started indexing data into it. So that's where I defined it to be indexed to default in the during the local when I was configuring the inputs. During that time I chose main as my index for the data to be stored in. And then what I did was I went to Splunk Enterprise and we used the app called search and reporting. Now you guys will be working with this app a lot. Search and reporting app, you guys will be working with this, like mostly with this, because this is where you'll be doing your searching and this is where you'll be creating your dashboard, etc. So what I did here was I basically typed in index equal to and main. So main was the name of my index and I just press enter. When I press enter, it will basically give me all the details or all the results that are stored in my main. So if I change it to an internal index, that is basically Splunk's own index that it uses for storing its own details, I can get that also over here. As you can see, it gives me that also. But we want to check out main, right? Because we'll be working with main. So as you guys can see, all the basically logs are over here. These are the error logs, not the error logs. Sorry, these are the application logs of the Windows system. So it will give me log name, application. I can open it up over here, and I can see all the different fields of it: host, source type, computer name, event code, event type. This is basically discovering your data. Once you index your data, you can discover it using your search and reporting app. So you can see the selected fields over here, you can see the interesting fields over here. There are a lot of fields over here. So now I want to show you guys how to do basic searching on this, and then we'll create a small dashboard with one visualization based on what we've searched so far, right? So let's do that. So I have my index equal to main over here. Now so let's first select interesting field. So I'm going to select data. Let me select this and index. No, we have only one index over here. Type, we can select type. Yes, so I'm going to select type. So we have selected two fields over here. That is source, that is data and type, right? So if we want to see basically specific types of data, if you want to see only data which has the value error, then we can do that. We can just type in here where type equal to error. Alright, so now it's showing me all those events, all those data that have type equal to error. So you can see the type is also changed to error 100%. So there are 34 counts of these errors, and there are basically we search them all. If I wanted to change that, I can change that too. So if we checked out any other type, I can see over here that I have information as one type. I can list that also over here. Type equal to information. Then I can search it up, and it will give me all the events that have type equal to information. Now what would happen if I want to see a particular if I want to calculate the data for all of these in types. So for that, I can just add something called a pipe. So when you add a pipe in basic searching, right, you basically, whatever result you get out of this query. So I got this as my query. This is the result of my query. This will now be used as input for the next query you put in. So the next query I'm putting in here is stats. So I'm going to use stats count. Sorry, one second. So stats count by host. So I don't want to do it by host. I want to do it by date r. So it's going to show me basically all the events that have the type equal to information, as well as basically they will show the date are, like how many of those events have the same data. So for data that is 0, we have 2 events. For data that is 12, you see that there are 4 events. So this is how you would go ahead with it, right? So let me take a little better example for creating a visualizations. Let's do one visualization. So let me count all the events by type. So if I do this, you can see that all the types are here: error, information, warning, and the number of counts for each of these events, right? So we have a visualization over here. We have a a table over here which basically shows us the number of counts for each type. For error we have these many, for information we have these many, for warning we have these many. All I did was I used stats count by type. So basically any result I got of index equal to main will be used as input for this query, and it gave us this. So now let's try to create a visualization. To create a visualization, you can just click on visualization over here, and you can see it's already created a visualization by itself, but we can go ahead and create one ourselves too. But if you want to change it, it's a just ready-made one over here. You can click on events, you can click on column chart, and you can choose to have a pie chart instead. You can see the proper distribution over here. You can do that if you want, or if you want, you can change it to a line graph. So this is how you can go ahead with it. Now if you do create a pie chart, right, so once you created this visualization, you want to save it in a dashboard that you can view anytime you want. So I'm going to click on save as a dashboard panel. So I don't have any dashboard already, so if I click on existing, I don't have any dashboards, so any dashboards that I have created. So I'm going to give this a title, type dashboard. So type metrics. So let me just type metrics dashboard. So I'm going to leave everything else in the default. I'm going to want the panel content as the pie chart, and I will want the statistics. Okay, we can add the statistics later. So now we can view the dashboard. So this is your dashboard now. You can go ahead and edit your dashboard, and this is in real time. Now it's not getting more, it's not changing right now because there are no new events going on right now. That's why you can go ahead and make a dark theme also if you like that. And you can change the format, the visualization. Sorry, you can change the search string for this. If I want to change it to something else, if I want to change it to date r, so if I change it to date r over here, then I apply that. So you can see for different datas it's created the pie chart over here. So we can add another panel. I'm going to click new over here. This time I want a bar chart because bar charts represent it way better. So here index equal to main, and I want the stats count by, then add to dashboard. And we see the bar chart over here. So guys, this is how you would do it. Then you can click on save and refresh. and voila, you have a dashboard over here. So you can view the dashboard over here in the same search and reporting app. You just have to choose one of these tabs. So as you can see, if I go back, I'll show you guys how to view your dashboards, or you can add your dashboard onto your home page itself. So I can choose a home dashboard over here. I can select the type. The type metric dashboard, and I'm going to click on save. We can close this, so we can have this whenever we log in, this dashboard, right? So if I just close it over here and I log in again, localhost, you can see that the type metric dashboard is there for you. It's loading. But this is how you guys would go ahead and index data and then basically analyze that data. Use these queries. There's a SPL, there's a search processing language. You guys can check that out. That's what you basically use in your searching. The ones I typed, index equal to main, pipe, and that big the line I put, and then the stats by type. So that is basically the search processing language. That's how you do it. Now for those people who don't know how to work with this, they can use pivots. Now we will talk about pivots in another session, because this session is already extended a lot, and that is also another little complicated topic, right? So now I will take questions. If you guys have any questions over here, please go ahead and ask. You guys can't hear me? Oh. Okay guys, so for whoever wasn't able to hear me, don't worry about it. We have this session on our YouTube channel. You guys can check it out on our YouTube channel. This session will be uploaded there. Now if you guys are interested in learning more about Splunk over here, then you guys can go ahead and check out our YouTube channel. We have videos where I didn't make any errors, or basically the system didn't make any errors, and you can check out the Intellipaat website over here. So you guys can check out our Intellipaat website. We have Splunk training and certification. You guys can choose this and get into online instructor-led classes, or basically if you're a person who just likes to study by himself, you can choose the self-paced courses also. We provide projects that will take you up to 40 hours also to do. And guys, for anyone who's not financially stable right now and you're looking to upskill, you should go ahead and check out intellipaat.com/academy. So this is basically a free venture that we're providing for everyone out there. So you have a lot of courses that we provided for free, like not the whole course, but a part of the course, so that you guys can get a basic understanding, right? So you guys should go ahead and check intellipaat.com/academy out. And guys, I'll leave you with this YouTube coupon code. If you are interested in the certification, go ahead and type this code in when you're buying the course. You'll get a flat 30% off on all our courses, not just Splunk courses. And guys, thank you for watching this session. I'm going to leave you with the contact details.